What's up, y'all? Shout out the new merch, man. It's here, it's here, it's here. Go ahead and go to thatman.store. That's thatman.store. And you can get the hand down, man down merchandise right now. Go ahead and click that, man. We appreciate y'all.
That's cool.
Welcome to the Mark Jackson Show. On the Come and Talk to Me Network, I'm Mark Jackson. That is my dynamic co-host, my guy Blue. Let's pay some bills, Blue. You looking sharp, man. Let's pay some bills first before I get into
What's
that.
up, man? Thank you. I'm gonna get the bills going, but I appreciate the love, Pops. You looking good, Dad?
Don't do that.
What you mean? You looking good? You got
You,
the
can, you can't receive a compliment and then give one. It doesn't have the sincerity that it needs.
No, yes, you can. You look great, man. You look great.
Thank
Shouts out to Underdog. Shouts out to Underdog. Go ahead and click the link in the description. Use the promo code MARK. That's MARK. They're matching the first time deposit of up to $1,000, and you can get a specialty pick. Pops, how you feeling, man? It's
I'm
so
good.
good to see you.
I'm good, man. What is that? You coming fresh off an All-Star weekend? You looking clean? Is that green olive on olive?
Ah, man, I'm feeling real. I'm feeling like a tree. I've been doing a lot of growing, so I got the olive on. I'm blessed today. I'm blessed.
You
What's
mind if
up,
I give
baby?
some shout outs? You mind if I give some shout outs? I wrote them down.
Do your thing. Do your thing.
It's been a minute. So first of all, I want to give a shout out to the great UB Brown, 91 years old, called his last game just last week with Mike Breen. Tremendous basketball career. A teacher and one of the originators for a long time. He's 91 years of calling games, coaching, incredible with giving clinics, spectacular job. So shout out to UB Brown, that's first and foremost. And I want to give a shout out to the great Dick Vitale, who made a comeback after fighting cancer. Cleared to call games once again. It was great to see him last week back calling games, so shout out to Dick Vitale. Another shout out, Ernie, Charles, Kenny, and Shaq. I know they gave him a great tribute during All-Star weekend, but I want to shout those guys out for the way that they have impacted the game, made it fun, entertaining, and truly became part of basketball history. Those are friends of mine, but guys that I got a tremendous amount of love and respect for. Another shout out, St. John's University, baby, top 10 in the country. Great Coach Rick Pitino and the St. John's Red Storm. Number one in the Big East. Incredible season. Got to give them love and support. Another shout out, my guy Hot Rod Strickland at Long Island University. Second place in their conference. Chipping away towards, this is a couple of years now. He has turned the program around. I'm proud of him. Tremendous coach. And last but not least, we talk about the WNBA. How about women's college basketball? What an incredible time to watch. The great, spectacular performances individually and collectively as teams. It is a spectacular time to be a basketball fan. Shout out to the women's basketball, college basketball, and the fun that is going to be come March Madness time.
Pops, you got an album dropping or something? That's a lot of love. That was a lot of love you just showed. What's going on?
I narrowed it down.
On the way?
I narrowed it down. I wanted to name teams of college basketball: Notre Dame, South Carolina, USC, UCLA, Texas.
Get it off.
Oh, TCU. I mean, this is a spectacular time. And these women are, they making moves that they didn't make back in the day. It is fun and exciting to watch.
Nah, that's great, man. That's great. Pops, it was a great weekend. I got to tell you, man, All-Star Weekend was awesome. I know you saw a pic because it was a pic that was sent in the group chat. I was somewhere in like the hundreds, and I looked down. I was like, yo, I know who that is. And it was none other than my Uncle Dave sitting front row. We're going to show the picture to y'all. Sitting front row next to Oscar Robertson as Steph Curry scurries on by. It was an unbelievable picture. I want to show that to y'all real quick, man, because I couldn't believe it.
That's a classic shot. That's a classic picture. Uncle Dave would say it's three all-time great point guards in that picture. Oscar Robertson, Steph Curry, and Dave Snowden Jr., one of the greatest wheelchair basketball players of all time. And I can't disagree with him. I won't hate and disagree with him. He's a spectacular basketball player, wheelchair playing and performing MVP after MVP. But that is a classic picture. And front row, how about if you told the young Uncle Dave Snowden when he was a young kid, he'd be at All-Star Weekend in 2025, sitting next to Oscar Robertson and staring at Steph Curry right in front of him, who knows him, he'd be like, no way. But how about your experience had to be incredible watching All-Star Weekend and the time you had.
No, my experience was great. But Pops, I'll talk about some of the different things that I did. I want to know what's your thoughts about the whole All-Star weekend in general? Because we need to get into this for real. I want to know what's your thoughts. Was it a success or what's your feelings?
To me, it wasn't a success. I understand trying to tinker with different things and change the rules, but I think ultimately, an old man once said to me, "You're talking about the corn and the Caesar salad and the broccoli. I want to talk about the steak and the potatoes. I want to keep the main thing the main thing." And I think we've gotten away from keeping the main thing the main thing. We entertainment, comedy, singing. It was a 3-hour program, and take a guess how much of that 3 hours program was basketball. I'll give it to you. 33 minutes of the 3-hour program, I saw a statistic. 33 minutes of basketball, actual basketball play. That means you're not keeping the main thing the main thing. So it was disappointing to me. I was excited about the three-point shooting contest. Obviously, Matt McClung and the dunk contest was spectacular. But the actual game, I think is unfair because I want to sit and watch Wemby more than 7 to 10 minutes. I want to sit and watch Shea more than 7 to 10 minutes. Those guys are almost faded away, and this is pretty much their first experience on the big stage. I mean, Shea being the leading candidate for the MVP, Wemby being the next guy in line to be the face of the league. I want to watch those guys. I was robbed of that, so it was unfortunate, and I understand the tinkering, but let's get back to basketball. Let's keep the main thing the main thing.
Dad, it's not on the NBA. I was there on the ground. It's not on the NBA. The NBA at least is doing things to try and attempt to switch it up. When I look at these players, I don't know if it's privilege. I don't know what it is, but something has changed. The All-Star game in the beginning, 1951 was the first NBA All-Star game. It was built off of the heels of the integrity of the game being questioned with the college basketball scandal, point shaving scandal going on. So it was the competitiveness was always the key. So to look now and say the NBA messed it up, I don't think, and not to say that you said that, but that's what I've heard people try to say and mirror. And I can only look at the players and say, man, something has changed. Something has switched. And I don't know if it's the passing of the mantle. I remember it was Michael Jordan. And before Michael Jordan, it was Magic and Bird, and it was Big O. And you can keep going back all the way to Earl Lloyd, who was the first black basketball player. And to look at how far we've come, to see this now and say, okay, we've lost track of what a privilege it is to be on that court as an all-star. I think the players need to be held more accountable. I think the competitiveness needs to raise. And if I would say one thing with the NBA, I would say the fact that there's rising stars on the same court as the all-stars, it waters down. It waters down the product. There's no reason that I should be watching Amen Thompson guard Matt McClung on Friday, and then I watch him guard Kevin Durant. It takes it away. It takes the aspect of earning that game away from me. And that was just one thing that left a sour taste in my mouth because this is the pinnacle.
Look at you giving a history class on the All-Star game. My goodness, that was well done. That was well done. But I agree with you. It is on the players. I just watched recently a clip of Kobe, the late, great Kobe Bryant, defending LeBron James time and time again, picking him up full court, turning him, active hands, block shot, talking trash, staring him down. I'm not saying you have to compete to that level. Obviously, he's a unique, all-time great competitor, and the mentality is just different. But you can meet somewhere closer to where he is than where you are, and I think is disappointing, and it's just unfortunate. I'm certainly not blaming the NBA because they obviously realize that they have a problem, something they have to do. But you got to put a demand on these guys, and if you don't want to play, then fine, don't play, don't show up. But let's find 24 guys that's willing to compete at a certain level that's acceptable and make the game much more entertaining. And one more thing, I got a problem with LeBron James, as great as he is. And has he earned the right to take the All-Star game off? 1,000%. I sign up for that every year moving forward. He's earned that right. He's an all-time great, an absolute legend, an ambassador for the game, and all he's done, I salute him. But he has not earned the right to show up Saturday night or Sunday and say, I'm not playing. If it's that crucial of an injury, and he might be hurt, I got no problem with that. Then let's not wait till the last second. He robbed the right of a guy like Norman Powell, who would have been a first-time All-Star, or somebody else to be in that seat, to have that opportunity. And I think that's unfortunate and unfair.
Not only Norman Powell, it's the fans, the young fans that felt that impact. I know at my age, I was looking like, man, I'm disappointed that I can't see my favorite player. So I know it was a family, it was a young kid, it was somebody who spent money on a hotel and tickets just to get there to see their favorite player. And to know that it was a last minute decision, it's tough, man. It's tough to accept, and I can't let LeBron off the hook for that because it was done in a way that I think you threw the fans in the blender, honestly. And it may have been a real true injury. It may have been because what I've heard is that he may have been the 50 to 60% and was attempting to get right for the All Star, but you owe it to the fans to not hang them out to dry, Bron. You really do.
And the powers that be, if there's a 50, 60% chance of him not being ready or being ready, then let's scratch it. He's too valuable to the Los Angeles Lakers and to the league moving forward. There's no sense in having him play hobbled. No, we understand that and we respect that. It's late in his career. Let's push him aside, put on a uniform, wave and shake hands, and keep it moving. But don't play. But give somebody the opportunity to experience being an all-star. That's all I'm saying. I think it's unfair to the next person that it would have been, and I believe it would have been Norman Powell, but whoever it was, they were robbed of an opportunity. And I don't think that's fair at all.
Any closing thoughts on the All Star game Sunday?
I just think overall it was obviously the fans love the game of basketball, and I could see what they were trying to do. And I give you a suggestion. Like, I don't agree with it, but JetStanley, my middle son, made a suggestion. And maybe you do this because it's today's game. He said, take the first 4,000 seats, the floor seats, and eliminate them and have people standing up. If you're going to go park and have an announcer, let's go all the way. Have people standing up courtside and watching the game and everybody else. And then you make it a full out, all Rucker Park entertainment type experience. I'm not saying that, but I can understand if you're going to go that way, go all the way that way. So now you know what to expect when it comes game time. Now I know I got an MC on the floor during the game, and it's not a competition. But if you're gonna put it up like as a competition, well, give me some competition. Give me some guys that's willing to compete. The hardest playing dude on the court on Sunday, in my opinion, was clearly Wemby. He was trying to win. He had a mentality trying to finish everything, blocking shots, running the floor, communicating in screen and roll situations. I'm not saying it's all fun and games until somebody gets hurt. I'm not saying to compete at a level that puts you in position to risk injury, but we are professionals. We know how to go out there and compete and not get hurt. That's all I'm asking. Put on a performance, and they fell short of exactly that.
Hey, shouts out to my brother Jet. That's a good idea, man. We thinking alike. Cause I was out there and I was saying the NBA flew out all of these young. I don't know if you saw it on camera, Pops, but there was a lot of young kids from the Boys and Girls Club, a lot of the inner city programs that were out there. If you don't want to put those tickets to sale, put those kids on the court, put them on the side of the court. They will never forget that. And that's the type of experience I think having those fans that close and knowing that you're making that type of impact, maybe that'll put the battery in some of these dudes back. But it's got to be something. I also heard the idea being floated around about a one-on-one contest with $1 million prize. Have you heard this, Pops?
I did hear that, and I think that piggybacked from the Women's Unrivaled League having a one-on-one for the $200,000 prize. That was spectacular.
Yeah.
I don't know how many NBA players sign up for that, put their reputation at risk, going against somebody and losing or looking bad. But it's a suggestion I think that's gaining some momentum as you listen to the answers and responses for players currently in the league being asked would they participate.
Yeah. I think a lot of these players being up close looked at this weekend as a rest, as a chance to get a break, spend time with their family. Steph said himself on national TV, I just took a power nap and I'm out here. Like I think that's what it was for them. And I hope the NBA can find a way to make it more I guess interactive for them, make it more worthwhile.
But I will say this, shout out to the NBA for what they do in the community, how they don't make it just an all-star weekend of playing and performing, but they actually impact the community, embracing the less fortunate, doing stuff for the homeless, the HBCU game, the boys club, all the things that they do that sometimes gets noticed and a lot of times gets unnoticed. They do a spectacular job of impacting communities that they touch. And I'm proud to be an alumni of the NBA. And I'm proud of all the work that they have done and continue to do. So shout out to them.
Shouts out to them. Pop, speaking of impact, I didn't even talk to you about this. I meant to tell you on the phone. When I was out there, Oakland, San Francisco, no matter what city I was in, I ran into so many people that showed love for the show, man. I appreciate, I want to say thank you, all the support, all the genuine love walking around. But Pops, I had no idea, and I got to give you your flowers for even bringing this show to fruition. The amount of young men that come up to me and say, yo, I love the fact of seeing you and your father because I didn't grow up with a father, or this situation happened, or it's so great to see black family together. It's so that level of connection with them was extremely eye opening. And so, Pops, I got to give you your flowers for helping me, and just showing something different. And so I appreciate you, Pops.
Well, thank you. Likewise. And I appreciate you. And I appreciate you going to All-Star Weekend and conducting yourself in a class, professional, respectful, responsible way. I got phone calls in the cut, people seeing you, yada, yada, giving you shout outs, how you carrying yourself. And even the great Dr. J was like, I just saw a young fella. I'm like, what the heck? Vince Carter, all the greats that I played with and the greats that I follow and the greats that, know me, they certainly reached out and gave you props for the way that you carried and conducted yourself. And they said this, your swag was on 1,000 in the Bay Area.
They just said 1,000. I thought they were gonna say 1,000,000. My swag was through the roof. No, it was so much love, Pops. The work that you put in the Bay, not just the Bay, the NBA, broadcasting. It's a lot to do with who you were as a man and who you taught me to be. And so I give you flowers. I give my mother flowers. My Uncle Dave was out there. I give him flowers. And even I could shout out everybody, Pops. It was a wonderful experience. I was at the Legends brunch, and it was amazing. That's where I saw Dr. J, Oscar Robertson in front, Yao Ming walking around, Mitch Richards, Run TMC is in there. It was unbelievable seeing these legends and just hearing how much the game meant to them. I'm seeing Rick Barry stand up there and he's like, man, this All-Star, I wish I could lace up. We played a game and the winner would receive a full month's paycheck, whoever won. And I'm looking like, man, these is real hoopers who laid the foundation. And so just to be in that room, to be around people like that, it was a blessing, man.
How special was it for you? And I know you just touched on it, but being in a room with Oscar Robertson, Rick Barry, Julius Erving, and all the greats. I mean, we don't really acknowledge and appreciate them the way that they should be acknowledged and appreciated.
No, we don't. And I'm sitting there and I'm listening back to back to back. Legends getting honored. Gary Payton getting up and talking. I'm sitting here like, we will never see some of these people at one point in time. So a type of event like that for the NBA to throw and for it to be the 75th annual is, what was that, the 75th annual? 25th annual. 25th annual Legends Brunch was just an amazing experience, man. I can't even say one thing that was, you know what? I'm going to say one thing that stood out to me. In the midst of the room, I don't know if there was a better voice that could have carried that night than Ernie Johnson. That he did an amazing job from the beginning. Within the first 10 minutes, he earned a standing ovation. So I got to give props to him because the flowers that he gave, the love that he gave, and the way that he handled a room full of giants was amazing.
Think about how I was watching it, how he starts off with a poem, including everybody that's being honored. He did a spectacular job as a host. But Ernie's, in my opinion, the greatest three-point guards ever play is Magic Johnson, Ernie Johnson, and Mike Breen. The way that those guys orchestrate everything, control the traffic, class personified and greatness at its absolute best. But I can't let you cruise past the fact that as you were in the Bay Area enjoying All-Star Weekend and swag on 1,000, you FaceTime me with Ernie Johnson. I can't let you cruise past that.
I told my swag was on 1,000,000. I was talking to him. He was like, call Dad right now. I was like, oh, you don't gotta tell me twice. No, it was awesome. It was awesome, man.
You,
It
you
was
know, you know what
amazing.
I really enjoyed? I really enjoyed the dunk contest. I really enjoyed that. What was your
That
thoughts
was
on
your
it?
favorite part?
No, 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 no. My favorite part of All Star. Yeah, I would say yes. The creativity. Uh, Watching Matt McClung get interviewed after the dunk contest and him being smaller than the interviewer was absolutely hilarious to me. You think about this
Yeah.
guy just won his third straight dunk contest, but I will say this: he is the greatest dunk contest contestant of all time. When you think about his body of work, the 50s that he continues to get, his creativity, his dunks across the board has been spectacular. He is the greatest dunk contest contestant of all time, in my opinion, and that's saying a lot for a guy that's not even 6 feet tall, and three straight dunk contests as a champion is a heck of an accomplishment for him.
The most impressive part for me, and I agree with you, Pops. I do think he goes down as that. But the most impressive part for me is it was no nonsense of him wiping the bottom of his feet, rubbing his hands for 10, 15 seconds. That dude set up the dunk, got locked in, and before I could even get my camera out, he was in the air. It was a show. And he had the room buzzing. It was a night, man. Shouts out to Stephen Castle too, because he had some dunks that I ain't seen pulled out before. That one on the baseline between the legs. I tried that on the 5 foot rim growing up. That ain't no joke.
How about the cuff of the left hand and the dunk? I mean, he if it wasn't for the spectacular dunks of McClung, Castle would win the dunk contest. He was spectacular, and he didn't disappoint with his creativity. I knew McClung was going to win because when they gave the introduction, he was the only one that came out in a full sprint on the court with a basketball in his hands. He was already locked and loaded and ready.
No, he was prepared. He was prepared. I think he did his first dunk, and it was all regular celebrations. He hit his first dunk. All of a sudden, fire came out the top of the backboard. I was like, hold on, is the fix in? They know something I don't know. But it was a good time, man. I think that was my favorite event also. I
Let's
think that was
document
my
some of your
favorite.
let's document some of your time during All Star Weekend. I got some pictures. I'm gonna turn the tables on you. It's normally picture time with me. I'm gonna do
Let's do
picture
it.
time with Blue. That got a
Let's
nice
do
ring
it.
to it.
Hey, that do sound pretty nice.
How about this first one? First one with you, Uncle Dave, Muggsy Bogues, and the new head of the Retired Players Association, my former teammate Antonio Davis. How about that one?
Ooh, that was a night that pops. That was one of the nights that I told you 1,000 wasn't enough. I was on a million. I was on a million that night. That's a nice picture, man. I can't front. The love that seeing Muggsy in person, love Muggsy, love his family. Seeing Antonio in person, love, man. Always love. So that was a great picture that we had to just pull to the side and we had to take that, Pops.
Is
They
it
was
is it
looking for you.
is it
Everybody was looking for you, by the way.
this ain't
Everybody
about
was
me. This
asking,
picture
yo,
time with
where
Blue. This ain't
Pops
about
at?
me. My question to you
Everybody, what's up?
is there a side of you that's looking at Muggsy like, this dude played all these years in the NBA and impacted the game like that? When you look how small he is, it's incredible what he was able to accomplish.
It is incredible. Maybe if I never spoke to him or was around him, looking at it from a distance, I may question how he did it. But being around him and speaking to him, you get the demeanor, the type of grit, the type of man that he is, and you start to realize this is a giant in a smaller body like this. So it's no question of if you roll a ball out, what you gonna get from him. And that's one thing that I've learned just from being around him and interacting is this dude. It's a reason why he's a legend at this size. Like,
You would have a problem with him. He's picking you up full court and turning you 100 times.
oh, what? I mean, now I wouldn't like him after the game. I'll be mad. He was talking about actually talking about some of the work that he was doing with LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller down in Charlotte, and just talking about how great it is to work with them young fellas. They got dogs down there, Pops. They
Uh,
got some dogs.
Absolutely. I got another picture for you. Pictures with
Let's
Blue.
see.
How
Let's
about
do it.
this
What
one?
you got?
You with Gary Payton, the great Gary Payton, the Hall of Fame Gary Payton, and the legendary Spike Lee. How about that one? That's a great shot
No,
right there.
Pops. These the type of pictures. These the type of pictures that make me go from 1,000 to my swag. Once I got the pick with GP, this is the crazy thing. GP walk up, mind you. I don't know, Pops. I done met GP probably a few times, But in the moment, I'm like, yo, this Gary, this the glove. Like, I'm like, yo, Mark. He look at me like, I know who you are. Da, da, da. It made my heart leap for joy. I'm like, yo, the glove know me. This is crazy. Then
Classic.
Spike came over and showed. Spike always show love, man. The funniest thing is, there was a dude that was taking a picture, and Spike looked through the crowd. He was picking somebody to take the picture for us. He was like, oh my, he saw a dude with a Wake Forest shirt on. He was like, oh my man. He's like, you went to Wake Forest? He was like, no, I actually went to Morehouse. And so he lets him take the picture. He's like, okay, come take the picture. So he takes the picture, takes 2 or 3 pictures. So Spike goes, how did you like Morehouse? Da, 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 da. After he hands Spike the phone back, he's like, I actually didn't go to Morehouse. I actually did go to Wake Forest. So I'm like,
That's a
like,
veteran
dude, you
move.
gonna finesse a legend? It was hilarious though, man. He talked to him for about 5 minutes.
But hold on. Forget about the Morehouse and all of that. Is that a new vest you're wearing in the picture?
Come on, baby. I told you I had to be ready for All-Star. I had to be ready. Look, this is the craziest part. You seen me during the daytime, man. Imagine how it feel when the sun went down. I was outside, man. I don't know. It was a good vibe. It was a good vibe. I missed that stuff. I missed it, man. And I missed Oakland was nice, Pops. I was over there. It's sad to see the Coliseum being torn down. That was one thing that I was looking. I was like, man, that's history. Saw them seats on the side. It was crazy.
Think
But
about it.
Oakland
Yeah.
showed legit love.
Yeah, think about the legendary area that is, where the Raiders played, where the great Oakland A's played, and where the Warriors played. Incredible times and great memories.
Yeah.
But let's get to another picture with Blue. Here you are with
Let's
my
do-
former teammate, another former teammate of mine, Hall of Famer, Vince Carter. Tell me about that.
Man, VC, half man, half amazing. Legend, man. Pops, it's a few players that I looked at growing up and seeing you play with, and I was like, man, that's a different level. And VC was one of those, man. When you was in Toronto and I was just looking, I don't even know, I had to be like 10 years old, 11, something like that. I was trying to jump from the free throw line. I was doing mid-post jab step series, trying to do everything like VC. So to see him this weekend and show him love and just hear from him, he looked over at me like he saw a ghost. He was like, yo, what? And I looked the same thing, man. It was so much love out there. It's a great picture, man. Shouts out to Vince, man. Hall of Famer. They showed him a lot of love too. They had a whole dedicated segment. That was honestly my favorite part, being up close and seeing these legends get their flowers this weekend. I feel like the NBA did a great job of showing legends and people who put work in the game in the best light possible. It was awesome.
I think they said it was 25 years ago, Vince Carter, the dunk contest that he put in, performance he put on in Oakland.
Is
that 25
somewhere
years?
around there?
That's
Is that 25
ridiculous.
now?
That's ridiculous. That's absolutely absurd.
Yeah,
Time is
nuts.
flying, man.
I'm not gonna lie though. When Mac McClung did those few dunks, and then it went to commercial break inside the arena, they put up some of the old school dunks like right after. So Vince's was hitting the same, but some of them dunks ain't timeless no more. But some of them dunks ain't timeless,
Yeah.
man. All of Vince's is timeless, but I'm not gonna say no names. There was a couple of them that was like,
Don't say no
I
names.
right.
Protect
No,
the
no.
innocent.
I'm not saying no names.
Some of those dunks, you could have been in the contest.
Look, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, yo, that was a little, I don't know.
That's classic.
Oh, man. Let me ask you, Pops. Is there anything that Adam Silver should do to switch it up next year?
In my opinion, again, this is me talking, I would go back to just playing basketball. And I wouldn't have the big breaks in between with the performances and all that. I'd have a halftime performance by somebody obviously legit. Maybe before the game, have somebody do a song if the moment presents itself with a great song and a great artist. But I would cut out the amount of times that it's interruptions, because you're putting guys at risk, having them sit for 20, 30 minutes during the performance and then come back and try to warm up again. It's not fair to the players. But I'd keep the main thing, and keep 24 players, and 24 players that want to be there, 24 players that want to compete at a respectable level, and celebrate the game, the history of the game, and everybody that's impacted in a big way. I'd keep it that simple, and I believe that you could be effective, and everybody can leave happy.
Pops, 88, 89. You were in the All-Star game. I want to know, what was your favorite memory?
You know, I get goosebumps and emotional thinking about it because I was a kid dreaming of being an NBA player. And here I am in Houston All-Star weekend with a uniform on in the locker room, sitting next to Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas, Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, Hakeem Olajuwon, Pat Ewing. I mean, think about that. I'm sitting there like, and I tell you the truth, I'm sitting there like, somebody does not belong in this locker room. I knew I didn't belong. I'm sitting there like, this is legendary guys that's in that separate room, and here I am sitting in the room with them. I just couldn't help but think about how tremendous God is and how fortunate I was and blessed to have that opportunity. But that was my biggest memory because I went back to being a kid, went back to dreaming, and realizing how fortunate I was and how far I've come.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Can you imagine that being in the locker room with those guys with a uniform on?
No, I can't. Pops, my heart was beating fast just being in the room. They was eating at the brunch, and my heart was beating fast. They didn't have a game. I didn't have to play against them. I'm sitting there like, yo, this is crazy.
I understand.
Awesome,
I would think about it. I humbly submit what I've accomplished in life. If I was in that room, I'd be the same way because I was that way when I went to Hall of Fame events for former teammates or friends that got into the Hall of Fame, and I'm sitting there like looking around the room, and it's absolutely unbelievable. Unbelievable when you think about the impact that so many have had on your life and how much you appreciate them. It makes you reflect and acknowledge greatness when you're in the presence.
It really does, man. So y'all don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Shouts out to our sponsors, Underdog. Click the link in the description and use the promo code MARK. That's M-A-R-K. They're matching the first time deposit of up to $1,000. And you'll also get a specialty pick. We appreciate y'all, man.
Remember, the legendary R&B group Boyz II Men went on the TV show The Masked Singer. They tried to sabotage their appearance. They realized there was a scheduling conflict that was in the way. So they tried to purposely lose the competition. They wound up winning. Boyz II Men wound up winning. And you think it makes no sense, but I'm talking to you right now because you are trying to do everything you can to lose that job, that promotion in life. But I prophetically speak to you that it's winning season for you. Nothing you can do to get in the way from you in this victory that's headed your way. Don't miss your shout. It's winning season. Blessings.